Welcome back, guys. Well, what a past couple of days, man. Last video or the one before, I think I was talking about how I'm going up to Queensland. How I was going up to Queensland to inspect that property. Well, basically that was 4 days ago. It's been a crazy weekend, man. I left on Thursday morning. I took my van up. I had a full I filled my van up with some materials for the kitchen and doors and stuff, and I picked up my mate Mitch. We went up to Queensland, and it took us 2 days to drive there. It's about it was like, I think, like 1,800 kilometers, like 1,800 k's, which was like about 20 hours, a bit like maybe about 18 hours of driving. And bro, we did it in one drive. Like, we did not stop. We stopped like obviously 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, but we didn't sleep anywhere. We just kept driving. We swapped over like every couple of hours, man, and that was an adventure. Today's Monday. It was great. The inspection was good. I checked the property out. The property was great. You know, I took measurements, took a lot of photos, took a video. We even inspected a few other properties, and all in all, actually, the town was really good. It's called Longreach. Like, population of like 3,500. It was a small town, but honestly it was actually really nice. Like, I don't know, just the vibe, you know that energy you have when you go somewhere. Like, I just felt like a great energy from that place. And yeah, I signed the contract. I have to sort out my finance, like getting a loan by the end of this year, so that I can, you know, because of settlement. If not, like, I lose the property. Like, it's the contract's subject to finance. So if I don't get the settlement, if I don't get my finance sorted out, then I can back out of the thing. I've also today, actually, I've got to pay the deposit. I've got to pay like $3,500 for that, which is also another big payment. Really, what happened as well was, on the way back, my van fucked up. Like, I was almost back to Sydney. Like, we drove back after, like, on Friday, you know, Saturday morning we drove back. We started driving back. We went through Kingaroy. We slept there at one of Mitch's like relatives' house. And Sunday morning we woke up. We headed straight back to Sydney, and just like an hour before Newcastle, and I didn't notice, like, the fucking, my oil light was flickering a bit. And I thought it was just something wrong, like, with the light, you know, like, it's never happened before. And I had topped up the oil like 2 months ago. Like, I done an oil, I serviced the car like 2 months before. And so I was just like, I was ignoring it. All of a sudden, like, I just start hearing a knocking sound in the van. Mind you, my van has 485,000 kilometers on it. It's a petrol van. It's seen better days. You know what I mean? I paid $1,000 for this van. You know, it's a 2012 Hyundai iMax. I took out all the seats, took out the carpet in the back. You know, I was just using it like as a daily for work, like just filling it up with tools, timber, materials, whatever. So I thrashed it. I used it quite a bit. I only paid $1,000 for it. Like, yeah. So basically, that van's gone. Like, it's knocking. It was making a very bad knocking sound. Obviously, something in the motor's ruined. I think it was overheating. There was no oil. Basically, as soon as I checked I heard the knocking sound, I straight away pulled over. I checked the oil. There was no oil. I checked the oil level. There was no oil. Oil was gone, and the engine was really hot. Now, the gauge wasn't saying that it was overheating, but which would trip me out. Like, why is it so hot? But obviously, there's no oil, so, you know, it's just metal rubbing on metal. So that was pretty stupid of me. I should have pulled over as soon as I saw that oil light, but, you know, like, it is what it is, man. I was like really tired. I had no, like, we had been driving for the last 4 days, like, just driving, and it was just like, we were so close to home, and we were like, oh, I just want to get home, you know what I mean? Like, if I pull over and check the oil level, I'll get home and sort it out. Like, I've driven like the van before without it having much oil in it. It's never been like, oh, just pull over right now. But the thing is, I think the fact that oil light came on, that's the first time I've seen it, means like there was a problem. So anyway, look, it is what it is. Like, I am annoyed. Like, obviously I lost my van. Like, it's gone. Like, it's motor's gone. Like if I want to fix it, it's going to cost me like $4,000 for a new engine. And I am considering it. I'm thinking about it. I don't want to make a decision right now because I'm really tired. Like I know you can probably tell from my eyes and my face. Like I finished yesterday. We were supposed to be back in Sydney, like back home yesterday at about 7, or about 6. It was actually about 6:30. We were supposed to be home. So we would have had time to go home, shower and rest and eat and have dinner and stuff and sleep early and go to work. But obviously that didn't happen. At about 3 o'clock, my van started knocking. The engine started making a knocking sound, so I had to pull over. And by the time we sorted that out, we didn't even sort it out. It's still there. It's 3 hours from home. I had to wait 3 hours. Well, me and Mitch, we had to wait 3 hours for someone to come get us, and then another 3 hours to get home. And I borrowed my mate's car. I borrowed Mitch's his car, and I had to go home. And by the time I got home at about 11, and then I had to get all my tools out of my sister's garage to put it in the van. In the van, to put it in the car, and then go home and do all of that, shower. By the time I went to sleep, it was like 1 a.m. and I was hammered, like proper hammered. It's been 4 days now, where 4 days straight of just driving long, really 12, 13 hours a day, not sleeping on time. Just my whole routine was all over the place. You know what I mean? It was a good experience. It was a good adventure. I went there for a reason, for this property. That was my first step in my journey in real estate. And all in all, I loved it. It was an adventure again, a great experience for me. And, obviously I'm going to do this again. I have to. I want to buy property. I didn't care what it takes. I even had a budget for how much I wanted to spend, and I went over that budget by $500. And again, that's all part of the journey. That's all part of the experience. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how don't be scared to do things. You know what I mean? Things happen in life. Problems that arise, little things here and there that add up, they cause big issues. But that's life. Life isn't meant to be easy. Alright, I could look at it in two ways. I spoke to my family. While I was stuck there where I was speaking to my mum, I was speaking to my sister and my dad. And I was saying there were parts in this drive. There was 5 hours straight. There was no reception. There's no people. It's just outback, country Australia, outback Australia. There's no people. There's no every 100 kilometers there's a servo. You know what I mean? If the van blew there, the motor blew there, I would have been stranded there for 2 days. Because there's no reception. I would have had to wait for someone to drive past, and then they pull over, and then they take us down somewhere, and then I get to make a phone call. I would have been in a lot more trouble. It happened so close to home, and it was like a shock. It was like a wake up. You know what I mean? Alright, he relied on his van. The van was great, and I was expecting something to happen to the van. Honestly, I was this van's seen better days. It's done 500,000 kilometers, and I'm driving for 20 hours straight in this van. You know what I mean? Who does that? It's $1,000 van. Would you trust $1,000 van that's driven 500,000 kilometers? And it's beat up. It's beat up, man. There's a lot of issues. There's an issue with there was an issue with catalytic converter, issue with some sensors. There's just things wrong with it. And I did it. I'm I didn't care. Whatever happens, happens, man. That's life. And I was very confident, and it was going really well all the way. I got all the way to Queensland, and I got almost the entire way back. The last 2-3 hours, the motor's gone. Alright, what happened? It is what it is. You know what I mean? I can sit here and say, I don't want to buy this house anymore. I can't afford it. I need a new. No, I really don't care. Things happen. Right now, I slept at 1:30 in the morning. I had to wake up at 4:30 to go to work. I was working about an hour and a half away from home, and I'm hammered. The whole drive to work this morning. And I'll be straight out. I missed gym. I missed meditating. I didn't do that today because I was too tired. I woke up at 3:50, which I was supposed to wake up, and I was just too. I didn't even know how to explain it. When you wake up and you're so tired that you actually can't get up and just fall asleep again. That happened to me in the morning at 3:50 when I woke up for my alarm to go gym. I woke up again at like 5:30ish, 5:20, and I jumped out of bed. I'm like, okay, I missed gym. All right, it is what it is. I slept too late and I had no choice. But I'm not missing work. Like, I need to go to work. I have to work. I have to hustle. I got a big goal. By the end of this year, I need X amount of money, and I'll be straight out. The property is $130,000. All right. The only loan that I can get, I have no asset, and I don't have any because I'm on ABN. I'm self-employed. I don't have any. I've only been self-employed since like a couple months ago. So I don't have any tax returns from ATO like to show my income over the past. You need like 1 to 2 years of tax returns to get a loan from a bank. So I have to do it through a private lender, and that's the thing. Like, it's always hard to do when you're starting off on your first property. It's always hard because you have no assets, your income is low, or you don't even have an income in their eyes. Like right now, like I could be making bloody $5,000 a week, but if there's no tax return showing that, then it's all rubbish to them. They don't care. They need 2 years of statements, and they need 3 months of bank statements. They need 2 years of payslip, like a payslip that, how do I explain it? They need payslips. They need everything. They need all of these things, and doesn't matter how much money you make. That's how banks are. And that's why I was struggling to get a loan. And like, bro, I can pay off that loan in a year and a bit, man. Like, I don't even understand why they wouldn't give me that money. Anyway, long story short, in order for me to get the loan, I need to do it through a private lender. Private lender, you got to put it on your ABN, right? And you need 30% upfront, like a 30% deposit. So for me to borrow 130 grand, I need 40k, like available for a deposit before settlement. So that's the issue. And right now I have no vehicle. Like, my vehicle's fried now. My van's fucked straight out. Like, it's gone. And I'm in some way I'm bummed out. Like, it's a great van. It was a great van, and I had like so much hopes for it. Like, it was such a good van, and I used it so much, and it was great. But at the same time, like, I feel like now it's like I got to move on. I really have to move on to something better. So it's one of those things. Like, it was great. I saved a lot of money with that van. I made a lot of money with that van. But now it's like things. Now it's more serious now. Like, now I got to think about, instead of spending as little as possible on a vehicle, okay, I need to spend a bit more on a vehicle that I know will last me 10, 20 years. You know, I got to start thinking long term. I've always had the philosophy with tools, for example. I don't like buying crap tools. I don't like buying tools that are, you go Bunnings, you buy a Zeta tools for like $50, right? And everyone does this. They need to do something at home. They need to sand something. They're doing something. They need to do a little bit of sanding. So they go to Bunnings. They see like a good sander's like $300, and they're like, oof, I'm not gonna pay it, which I understand. So they go like the cheapest sander. It's like $40. The Zeta ones. All right. They use it. It's very uncomfortable to use. It's very annoying to use. After a month, something doesn't work. The pad's fucked. For example, the pad's wrong. Pads this and that, whatever. Something doesn't work. It's very uncomfortable in your hand. After 10 minutes, your hand is shaking, which is not good. It's not healthy for your hand. Or you buy the Bullet and you go buy the $300 sander, or you go buy the $1,000 Festool sander. Like the cracker top of the range. Obviously, it depends what you're using it for. If you need it once, you're not gonna go spend $1,000 on a sander. But if you're gonna use it every day for work, or you got a massive project at your home, you're doing a big renovation, you go spend $1,000 on a proper sander and you keep it. And then in the future, you're gonna use it again, so you go buy you keep that good one for a long time. It's the same concept with the vehicle. If I spend $1,000 on a van, it's beat up and it's very high kilometers, I bought that van because I needed it at that moment, and it was a good opportunity, and it was good, it was cracker. But long term, I knew that van was going to break down. I knew that van, the motor's going to blow. The motor is not cheap to fix. It costs money and it costs time to fix. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, it was a ticking time bomb. I loved the van because it was so spacious, and it's one of those vehicles where you just throw them around. You just push them as hard as you need to push them. You just shove so much stuff in the back, like in timber and materials and tools. I just didn't care, bro. I just throw it all in, just chuck it in, doesn't matter. And if it gets scratched, if it gets damaged, who cares? And that's what I got it for, and that's what I used it for, and it was great. But now if I want to get into this property game, bro, like I'm gonna be doing a lot of long distance driving, and I really want to get far in my business as well, like carpentry, because that's gonna fund my real estate portfolio, my investment portfolio. So right now I'm on the edge. I'm thinking like, okay, I can go buy a van. I'm in no capacity to buy a van outright, like to go pay cash, like 10 grand, 15 grand for a car or a van, sorry. Because every dollar that I'm making now, all the savings that I have has to go to towards this deposit for this house. So I'm kind of like, I'm on the edge. I'm thinking, all right, if I go finance a van, get something for like 15 grand, put on finance, pay $150 a week, that would be great, because I need to go to Queensland again at the end of this year. Once the property settles, I need to go back down. I need to do the renovation. I need it for work. Like, I'm going to be using it forever. Like, this isn't like, it's just a hobby. No, I need this all the time. So I'm kind of on the seat. Like, what should I do? So yeah, I'm considering it now. I don't want to make a decision right now because like I'm really I am so tired. Like, I'm talking now, I'm not here. Like, I'm trying to focus on driving, but I can't even focus. I'm hammered. So I'm gonna go home now. I'm gonna eat, shower, rest a bit. I want to read my book, knock out early, wake up, go to the gym, like go back to my routine because I missed out a few days. I still maintained my diet and I'm happy. I maintained my diet. As best as I could, I woke up at 4 a.m. even though there was no gym because we were driving. I still managed to wake up and I still maintained the calories. I still ate at the right times, like intermittent fasting. And yeah, so I'm happy with that. I also, I read a lot as well. I was hoping to finish that book by, The Snowball about Warren Buffett. I was hoping to finish that book. I'm still reading it, bro. It's like, I've been reading that book now for like 3 weeks, and I'm reading every day, like probably an hour every single day. Like, it's killing my life. It's not bad. It's just like, there's so much pages, man. It's like 700 pages, and there's a lot of words. It's not a problem. It's just it's taking its time, man. So I was hoping to finish reading that on this trip. It would have been mad. So I even bring extra books with me so that I can finish that book and then read another book. And but obviously that didn't work out, which is fine. Again, like I can't force myself more than I feel like with reading, like if I force myself to sit and read, even though I don't want to, I don't enjoy it and I don't even get any knowledge out of it. I do have to. It's like finding the balance. It's like I gotta push myself like not 100% to read a book. I gotta push myself like 75% to read a book, to go read. Now, as part of my routine, I comfortably read after I have dinner, like at 6 p.m. I've showered, I've eaten, and I'm resting. I'm in my room. I've got nothing else in my routine. It's from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I'm just reading, and then I just go to bed. So that's a given. That's normal. It's the other times where I have spare time. That's where I kind of have to push myself harder to actually read. So if I push myself too hard with reading, I won't read. If I push myself a little bit, I feel like reading. All right, done. Let's go read, and then it works out. So I just wanted to give an update. That's basically how my journey was. That's basically how my trip was. All in all, it was great. I had a great time. It was a great experience, great adventure. Very good experience in regards to investing. Very good experience in regards to my journey and what I want to achieve in the future. And yeah, it's just all a matter of hustling and just continuing, man. I have so much, I still haven't got this property. I'm still waiting, still patient, still save up money, still get this deposit, still put the money down. It's just still push. That's all it's about right now. And so hopefully it works out. Just gotta keep grinding.